machine.
This week we're able to catch up with Mr. Muzzleloader himself, no one other than the Travelin hunter, Mr. Tony Smotherman. We'll be getting after it in the high country, chasing after big bulls.
There's a bed down right there, boys.
You know, there's an old cliche that says the hunt's not over till it's over.
So will they typically at night, will they typically go out in these open areas and graze on that grass?
Yep, absolutely.
And then come back in here and, okay, I got you. So kind of the same scenario as a whitetail would back in my country.
Yep, exactly.
I got you. Just bigger country.
You know, guys, with a nickname like Traveling Hunter, which my buddies has pinned to me over the years, and also with the show that I've hosted for 3 or 4 years there on the Sportsman's Channel, I've had the opportunity to travel all over this country. And believe me when I tell you this is an amazing country. I've been to Alaska, Newfoundland, and all over the place. But one place I've never been, which is rather odd, is Montana.
No, it's gorgeous country. That's an understatement, my man.
Yep. So I was down in Las Vegas at the SHOT Show a couple years ago and ran into the Montana Full Circle TV show host Adam Onsrud, and we ended up having building a relationship over time right there, and he ended up becoming a pro, and because I handle all of our pros across the country now, we become friends, and he invited me up for an elk hunt here in Montana.
A lot of stuff down there, thicker than hair on a dog's back, and some of that stuff down there.
Yeah, I would call it dog hair pine.
Dog hair pine, thicker than dog hair, yeah.
Yeah.
Works. I mean, for real, that stuff's thick.
Yeah, I would call it dog hair pine.
Well, there's a lot of precision that goes into making Bagar barrels, and the popularity of those Bagar barrels has grew so much that the market pushed us into making our own centerfire rifles. So for the last 2 years, we have a B14 and a Premier series of Bagar rifles. So I know it's new to you, but just hold on, because there's a whole lot of stuff coming for 2018, and as we grow, you will see our brand a whole lot more, I can promise you that.
I will be honest with you. I am lost as last year's Easter egg, so where you go, I'm in tow.
Perfect. That sounds good. It's actually toxic to wildlife. Yeah,
That is toxic to wildlife.
If you do. You can see these
Oh,
sticks.
snap.
A lot of people get them and just flick them off, but what I do if I get them, I'll just break them in half. And that makes that plant, that seed, inviable.
So if you took them and just raked those stick tights off, or beggar's lice, or beggar's, what do you call them?
Yep. They're called hound's tongue, but people call them beggar's lice or beggar's dick.
Okay.
And what
If you just throw them down, you're reseeding them. I don't know if I'd recommend eating that or not, but
because it is toxic, but I'll chew them up and spit them out.
yeah.
You can see where the cows and the elk is just covered in here.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll just come in here and bed, and then the elk will go way down in the deep
And
holes
then,
find
and
more.
drop them, rub them off or something.
I mean, look at it all right here. Look at all this.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's pretty good.
And this is destroying our habitat for our wildlife. You know?
But see, if I didn't know any different, I would never even think about that right there.
But that's what I think is important for us sportsmen, to know what non-natives are around, so we can contact our local weed districts and weed, extension offices.
I would have never thought about it.
Because this right here is reducing the forage for our wildlife and our livestock.
Is
And
it,
if we let this stuff go, I mean, it'll outcompete a lot of our natives. We'll lose our native biodiversity.
is it just because it's so aggressive and it will, in essence, choke out the other?
Absolutely. Well, look over here. Look at that.
Right.
How many hundreds of plants do you see right there?
So I was always told, if you're around the right people, you'll learn something new every day.
Yep.
That's the first thing I've learned today.
Yep.
So obviously I'm around the right person, because I'd have never, ever thought about that that's an invasive situation and is a problem.
I've been an outdoor writer, I've been a magazine publisher, and I've hosted outdoor television shows for 13 years, I believe, is a television show history of mine. So I've done everything in the outdoor industry. So as of today, my job, I work for BPI Outdoors, which is the CVA brand and the Bagar brand. And underneath that umbrella of brands, I am the influencer relations. So I know that's kind of a fancy name, but what that entitles is I actually take care of outdoor riders, television show hosts, and also pro staff that we have across the country. So I've been in the well of the business and TV shows and riding and magazines, but now for the Bagar and CVA brand, I take care of all the guys that do what I used to do. So it's a really good fit because I'm very passionate about what these guys do, and it just allows me to be able to help them better and help them in their vision, their dreams to grow their outdoor business.
It was an awesome spot. And the only thing down there right now is a whole bunch of calories I burned coming up that ridge right there.
Good deal. Get you in shape for tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I'm in shape now. I'm not sure if I'll be in shape to get out of the bed in the morning, but that's okay. Well, my friends, day 2 is a wrap. Sorry, damn. That's day 1. Damn, I messed that up.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Buffalo Bore Ammunition, strictly business, and Montana Department of Agriculture reminds you to educate yourself on the harmful effects of noxious weeds.
Well, it's day 2 here at Tony Smotherman. Spot that we want to go. Looks like no one's come out this way for a long time. Pretty excited. Saw a lot of bulls in here during archery season. We had a great time. Saw wolf tracks back there, and then saw some mountain lion tracks right here from last night. So there's critters moving in here. Saw some old elk tracks. It's just a matter of finding them, getting Tony one of those big boys.
And let's just be clear. What he said a minute ago in his first sentence was, we're getting after it. We is a bit loose. He is getting after it. I am darn near dead from the first date yesterday. Just being honest and laying it all out on the table here right now.
Let's go find that big boy.
Moved up into the high country, we had crunchy snow. We didn't know if we were gonna be able to get into any kind of elk at all. And before we knew it, we had a bugling bull right on our hands, right in front of us.
We're gonna come in that opening. Let's get you over for a shot. Where is that joker? Do you see him? No. I'd like to get up in here. I just don't want to make too much noise.
Dude, it's like walking on plates right now.
I know. We gotta be careful what they're making just as much noise as we are.
What's the wind doing?
I think we're gonna be fine.
I feel it over my left ear back here.
Yeah, me too.
Man,
Bull's right there.
they're gonna cross our wind at some point.
Well, he's coming through. Get ready.
They're going up here. Yep, they got her going up here. Yeah,
You see him, Andy? Yeah, that wind screwed us. That bull should have been right through there. It's crazy. They're still bugling, man.
That's what
It's like Halloween almost.
November,
28th.
October 28th or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. That was cool.
Pretty cool, huh?
That was way cool.
Oh, man.
You know, that's a lot of times that's a downside to late elk hunts with a gun, is there's no bugling activity.
Yeah.
My life has always rotated around gun hunting, so
Absolutely.
I hardly ever get to hear bugles. So here that was
Pretty incredible, man.
big or small, I don't care.
Yeah.
You had a bugle, that was awesome.
Bam.
We got right in on these elk. They were coming on through, they winded us, and we never even did get a glimpse of that bull that was bugling. So we decided to wait till the afternoon and let the snow warm up a little bit.
Why is all these trees dead? Is this beetle kill?
Burn. This is all burned. Yep, you see all the black.
I do see that, so...
This whole thing burned in 2000. I think about, I want to say like over 1 million acres, like maybe 1.5 million acres burned in 2000.
Well, you guys had this year, 2017, you had 1 million acres burn again, right?
Well, that was all Montana. This was just the Bitterroot Valley. Burned like 1.5 million acres. It was insane. So that was 17 years ago. And there's still no regen. It burned so hot. So you see those little squiggle marks?
Yeah.
That's all from pine beetle.
Right.
Yep. So you can kind of see the old engravings and stuff of that. That's all from pine beetle.
So it's not beetle kill, it's
this all burned. Okay. So the beetles were working in here, but it all burned over. But the elk love it because the forage in here now is amazing. They can still get around pretty good.
You know, so we talk about these fires being so devastating. I mean, millions of acres being burned, and us outsiders, if you will, oh golly, that's unbelievable. But if a pine cone takes heat, a lot of heat, to open up, to reseed itself, it seems like the man upstairs figured there was going to be fires here.
Absolutely.
You know, I was thinking about that yesterday. We was talking about fires and pine cones open up a heat. Well, that's how forests get regenerated. It's almost like it's like a cycle. Almost some of it has to burn, which I know it's terrible to say that, but it's almost like some of it has to burn to get new growth coming.
Absolutely.
I don't know, it's weird to think that a fire has to happen for new trees to grow.
Yep.
I appreciate the education.
Make sure to catch up on seasons 1 and 2 of Montana Full Circle on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
And this smoke doesn't bother them. I mean, they're so used to having smoke around. It doesn't bug them none.
Had a beautiful sunset. We were just starting to head back to camp, and right at last camera light, we saw these bulls down below us.
He looks like a nice 6. I'd shoot him. That backbone's a decent 6, isn't it?
First we saw 1, then we saw 3, and wouldn't you know, it got too dark on us and we had to pass on those bulls. Tony made the right decision on passing on those bulls. The light was just disappearing on us too fast, and he knew we had some more days to hunt to try to make it happen.
Tony, how do you feel after today?
From here down, numb.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was just outside putting some stuff in the truck, and I kind of heard him kind of going over what today was like, and he's absolutely correct. Today was an amazing day. What's even going to be even better about tomorrow is we now know where there's 3 bulls at, and it's a good chance they're going to be in the same area in the morning when we get there, way before daylight.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Loophole Optics, Slumberjack, and Bergara.
Got it. We made it. Next morning we woke up, total different conditions. We ended up jumping in the truck and heading to a new area and driving on some sketchy roads.
Good morning, my friends. As you can tell right now, things has absolutely had a change of weather overnight. Yesterday it was cold, cloudy, and windy. Today it's cloudy and snowy, which is a good thing for elk movement. I got my right-hand man and TV show host, Onsrud, right here. And you know, we did something this morning that I've never done in my life. Obviously, I'm a flatlander. You probably can tell by the accent of my voice that I'm not from this part of the country. One thing we did today is we put tire chains on. I've never seen tire chains. I've never seen this process happen. But I know when we was coming up this area that we're standing in right now, absolutely scared me to death. The pucker factor was extremely high this morning. This is day 6. We got snow. The weather's right. The temperature's down. So hopefully, elk will be on their feet. I'm not gonna do a little 300 wind action today. You ready?
Let's go get him, man.
There's a bunch of elk over there, man.
The one problem with having that many elk,
Is there's a whole bunch of eyeballs.
there's a lot of eyeballs.
I knew you was gonna say that.
But I don't know, we'll have to take a look at that country, see what we can do. We'll have to figure out, we'll watch them, see where they bed down, see how we can sneak on them. It's kind of crunchy snow. Let's pull up a spot and scope and see if there's a good bull in there first.
Yeah, because right now all I see is
It's
elk.
hard to tell. Another bull? Oh my gosh, dude.
That's incredible, man, to be able to see that big of an animal that looks that small, that far away in that thick timber, man, because
They're gonna bed down right there, boys. Pretty sure probably 30 cows, maybe 40. So I think the top right's where we're gonna want to sneak in there.
yeah.
It's gonna be pretty tough. There's a lot of downfall and a lot of eyes. That's definitely a 3-year-old.
Well, I'm
Not the biggest one in the mountains, but he sure is good for what we're seeing. And you gotta see what's in the herd, where they're at, what your plan of attack is. If you don't have much pressure, just take your time, really wait for them to bed down so you know what you're doing. There are elk almost all the way down.
Man,
There's a pile of elk there, man.
we get to,
I think we just sit here and watch them all day. I don't want them.
I mean,
They're just so much fun to watch.
I'm all for wildlife viewing, but I can't eat pictures.
I hope that tire don't go off, man.
If it does,
Am I close, dude?
How about one more reverse?
Yeah, try to back her up again. Yeah.
Now you act like you meant to.
Yeah, right?
Well, sometimes you take some roads, you don't know what the dead ends look like, and that dead end was pretty sketchy, but got the Tundra, got some chains, got out of here. Time to go back and find some help to make it happen.
Just make note, when it says dead end, don't go down the road.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Shedhorn Cellars, Bog Pod, and Nanook.
I think we're in great shape. Just keep working our way up.
We glassed these elk about a mile away. I put a waypoint on my Onyx maps, headed on down, and sure enough, we ended up right where we needed to be. A few feet off, but right about where we needed to be, and we got right in on them. And wouldn't you know, right when we got to where we needed to be, it started dumping snow. Visibility was down to next to nothing. And we had cows all over the place. We had very minimal chance to move. So we had to sit down, hunker, and wait. Those elk had us pinned for about 45 minutes. We were hunkered down. It was cold, it was snowing. And Mr. Self down there, Tony, I was concerned about him with all that cold weather. He hung in there tight, and we just waited for that opportunity at that bull.
If he gets up, you shoot him. I'm rolling.
Finally, that bull stood up. He had cows all around him still. I can't imagine what Tony was dealing with.
Again.
I got to be honest, I'm leaving Montana with a tag in my pocket, but not for the lack of effort. Adam worked his tail off and we hiked a bunch of miles, and I think we averaged about 10 miles a day in some of the nastiest, roughest country that I've ever set my 2 feet in. And I shoot a whole lot, and I mean a whole lot. But if you hunt long enough, you're going to cross the same bridge that I crossed here this week, and that's pulling the trigger and missing the animal that you're looking for. So without a lack of a whole lot of effort, I had an amazing time. I was not able to harvest an elk, but I will tell you this romantic scenery that you see behind me here absolutely makes this trip one of the best I've ever had in my life, even though I'm going home with empty coolers. At the end of the day, we did our due diligence as outdoorsmen. We walked around in circles and gridded off everything for about 3 hours or so until we pretty much lost the tracks because of the whiteout conditions here. But we did not find any blood, so we feel pretty good about that.
And we jumped on all the tracks and kept going, but there was probably 50 to 60 at least elk, so it was really hard to figure out which one was his. And maybe he branched off, I don't know. We glassed like crazy all up and down that whole area. I mean, if he was laying there, we'd have found him.
You know, and at the end of the day, you guys, as much as you guys hunt that are watching this show here right now, at some point in time, you're going to cross this situation that we just crossed. You might make a miss. You might have a hit that you think was good and wasn't good. You might have an animal that takes a bullet and runs off. But either way, you owe it to the animal to do as much due diligence as you can and work as hard as you can. And unfortunately, Mother Nature's kind of beat us out here with the whiteout conditions that we're facing. It's covered up the tracks. And if there was a blood trail, then now we don't have it. So we did our jobs as outdoorsmen, and it was one heck of a hunt. This man right here can run a set of binoculars, my friends, I promise you. It was a standoff there for a little while, bro. Oh yeah, my gosh, man. The snow was just pounding me in my face, man, the whole time. My hands was freezing. Of course, you know, I ain't used to this kind of cold weather. But man, my hands was freezing, man. There was cows moving everywhere. That was, I had to say, pretty intense.
It was pretty intense.
It was pretty intense. Yeah, that was probably the most intense elk hunt I've ever been on. I've been able to hunt a lot of places and hunt a lot of elk, but I never had to just sit on one and wait for him to stand up. Number one, he was bedded, which is not the most ethical shot in the world, and number two, there was cows everywhere all around him, like they were trying to protect him. That was amazing to see that right there.
Wasn't that cool?
Oh, that was awesome, man. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by these fine sponsors. And Bitterroot Brewing. After the hunt, enjoy Montana's best brew.
You know, there's an old cliche. It says the hunt's not over till it's over. There's our bull. Here, you're not gonna be able to very close.
Oh, I didn't see that one. He's way low.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I always look for outliers. That's where the bulls are.
Okay.
think it's a 3-year-old. Look at this though. I think he's a 3-year-old. Look how long the beams are. He's a 3-year-old, dude. I think
he's coming out. He's coming out.
Yeah, I think he's a shooter. Oh, dude, yeah, he's a shooter, man. He's a 6-point. Dude, he's actually a nice bull.
We've been watching for, well, it's 12 o'clock now, so about 4 hours. So as soon as daybreak hit, we saw them from several miles from here. But either way, they're on top of this ridge above us. I want to get this Bagar 300 wind, and we're going to head that direction and see if we can kind of close the gap and get a shot off on our last day here in Montana. We just jumped up, I don't know how many vertical feet, but it feels like thousands. Well, at least that's what my lungs tell me anyways. We're probably at 8,000 foot elevation here right now. Got just a little bit of snow and a perfect wind. If you look back over my shoulder right here, you see this burnout point. Those elk are bedded at the end of this point about 150 yards down on the lower side right there. So we're really, really close. The only problem is well, it's really nice outside, and when it's really nice outside, we don't have anything to hide our movements. There's no snow, there's no wind, so it is deathly still right now. Well, my friends, this is where the magic almost happened. If you look around right here, there's beds everywhere. This right here is where there were 14 or 15 cows and one 5-point bull was bedded right here. The crazy thing is, though, is the first time we glassed them when they were bedded further over that direction. So when we come around, they must have got up and moved over here. So when we come off the hill, well, we thought was above them, when we come off, kind of a surprise attack, if you will, for the sheer fact of they surprise us and we surprise them. They weren't where they were supposed to be and we wasn't where we were supposed to be. So it's kind of a weird situation. But either way, my friends, we had an awesome time here in Montana. Today is day 7, and I'm headed back to Tennessee with a newfound love for the mountains of this amazing country.